Добрий вечір, мікрофон запрацював, а тепер точно всім добрий вечір і гарної середини тижня всім, хто сьогодні дістався до червоної зали будинку кіно. І так само добрий вечір усім, хто зараз дивиться трансляцію Кіносереди онлайн. І перш ніж ми з вами почнемо, хочу нагадати, що світ досі перебуває у стані пандемії коронавірусу, тому просимо вас вчасно дотримуватися застережних засобів, відповідно. Будь ласка, будьте в масках впродовж всього заходу, принаймні постарайтесь. І також дотримуйтеся схеми розсадки в залі. Я бачу, що ви вже її не дотримались, але принаймні постарайтесь не чхати на своїх сусідів і в прямому, і в метафоричному сенсі. От тепер ми вже дійсно можемо починати. Мене звати Ніна Тараруєва, і я дуже рада вітати всіх в залі і за екранами ноутбуків, телевізорів і так далі від імені сучасного українського кіно. Громадського об'єднання. Раніше я казала молодих кінематографістів, але я вам скажу, що СУК, сучасне українське кіно, це вже дуже досвідчена команда продюсерів, режисерів, операторів, художників, постановників, які вже багато років працюють на ниві українського кіно. І нам з вами випала надзвичайно класна честь сьогодні відкривати першу кіносереду за цей рік, оскільки остання була у 2019-му, потім взяла паузу, і тепер щось змінилось на краще. Кіносереда повернулась, сподіваємось, що скоро зміниться найкраще і ситуація у світі, а тим часом будемо разом із сьогоднішніми нашими фільмами і режисерами рефлексувати на тему, чому ми тут всі сидимо в масках і як нам сиділося вдома весь минулий рік. Але перш ніж все це станеться, хочу запросити на цю сцену генеральну продюсерку Кіносереди, без якої не стало б можливим повернення цієї чудової події. Це Ельміра Асадова. Ваші оплески.
Дякую, Ніна. Дякую, друзі, що ви прийшли. Цього року ми дуже вдячні дуже Українському культурному фонду, що вони нас підтримали, адже цей захід без них не міг би відбутися. Дякую, що ви з нами, що тут майже більш-менш половина залу. Це класно. І всім привіт, хто нас дивиться на онлайн-трансляції по той бік екрану. І хочу нагадати, що у нас ще буде кожну середу буде онлайн-трансляції і онлайн-події, майстер-класи, і зустрічі, і читки сценаріїв. Дякую.
Крім Ельміри, сьогодні вас хочу привітати і себе, я думаю, теж в першу чергу, чому б і ні. Президентка сучасного українського кіно і програмна директорка Кіносереди – це Валерія Сочевець. Але в кращих традиціях 2020-2021 року Валерія сьогодні дистанційно з нами. Вона записала нам відеозвернення, оскільки наразі вона знімає цілих 2 повнометражних фільми. Так що скоро нам буде з вами що дивитись, а поки що дивимось на екран на Валерію. Я думаю, можна поаплодувати Валерії і тому, як вона артистично підморгнула вам всім в кінці. Тим часом я вам розкажу трошки більше про те, про що згадувала і Лєра, і Сабіна, тобто, що на нас чекає цієї весни. Нам дуже пощастило, оскільки тепер кіносереда буде значно більше, ніж просто покази в будинку кіно. Тепер кіносереда набуває нових форм, які дозволять вам інакше подивитися на кіно. Може, трошки інакше, але все-таки. По-перше, щосереди, раз на місяць, не щосереди, одну середу на місяць, будуть покази в будинку кіно, які можна також подивитися на трансляцію на онлайн-платформі BigShort. До того ж, щосереди буде проходити один івент. Це буде або інтерв'ю із українськими режисерами і кінодіячами, ви зможете познайомитись з ними поближче і послухати, що їх турбує. Також це будуть майстер-класи від українських кінодіячів для всіх охочих дізнатись трошки більше. І останній дуже новий для нас формат, а саме тому дуже захопливий, це читки сценаріїв. Тому, якщо ви не знаєте, як це виглядає, або, можливо, вам цікаво, як це виглядає, слідкуйте, будь ласка, за сторінкою сучасного українського кіно на Фейсбуці. І також всі ці трансляції будуть розміщені на каналі СУК у YouTube. Ми майже закінчили з усіма представленнями. Єдине, про що хотілося ще розказати, це те, що Кіносереда насправді перша відбулась у 2016 році. От уже стільки багато часу ми з вами маємо можливість досліджувати українське кіно. Спочатку молоде, а тепер дедалі більш досвідчене і повноправне, тому що серед тих режисерів, чиї фільми ми сьогодні будемо дивитися, багато досвідчених, які зняли вже свій не перший повний метр. І я думаю, це доводить той факт, що короткий метр – це цілком незалежна і самостійна мистецька форма, яка дозволяє режисерам сказати щось, чого не дозволив би повний метр. Отже, що ми з вами сьогодні будемо дивитися? Це 5 короткометражних фільмів з загальною тривалістю 90 хвилин. Перший фільм «Сонечко» від режисерки Христини Сиволап. Далі «Маяк» Зої Лактіонової. «Сила і правда» Романа Бордуна.
The Power and Truth, Роман Бордун, Miss Бонбон by Марія Кондакова, and In the Times of Quarantine, The Current Times, directed by Роман Любий. So you'll be able to discuss all of those films and to talk to the directors. We have some directors present with us today. We have Роман Любий, I have seen him at last. We have Христина Сиволап as well. We're going to have Марія Кондакова with us online as well. And you'll be able to discuss your emotions with them, and you'll be able to ask all of the questions. We'll have 40 minutes after the screenings for any kind of questions that you would like to have. But I would like to once again mention the safety measures for everyone not to be ill after today's events. And please don't forget to mute your phones and enjoy the screen. I thought you will enjoy Ukrainian film.
Oh, 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 oh. О. Это невозможно.
Як? Тут є хтось? Нема.
Пусть включат микрофон. Паша, включи микрофон.
Мікрофон включіть. Мікрофон включіть.
Конечно, нет. Потому что нету звука с микрофона.
Раз. О, все так просто виявляється. От тепер ви мене точно
So, okay,
добре
now I think you can hear me well. I think that even you can hear me too well. So, what can I tell you right now? While our directors are getting ready to answer your questions, they're getting closer to our row number one for them to be much easier to get up on the stage when we're going to call them here. I would like to tell you that this almanac, these selections, like you have just enjoyed here or in your laptops at your homes, we have presented this almanac at Wizard Film Festival. Those are the very good friends of ours and colleagues. And By the way, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the directors who have made these films, and I'm going to invite them to join us here. So please welcome Роман Бордун, the director from Lviv, the one who has made the film Power and Truth. It's a fiction film, and Roman is mostly known as a documentary photographer who has broke into documentary filmmaking and into filmmaking overall with a travel film, very nice travel film, The Divine, and he has been traveling around Europe very nicely, and now he has made this really nice utopia fantasies when coronavirus has mixed up with the elections. And I think that's quite obvious for all of us because, you know, sometimes in our case, the elections have got together with the coronavirus, but Roman has given you a video just to make sure that you will know his work much better. So please take a look at the screen. So hi everyone, my name is Роман Бордун and I'm the director of the Power and the Truth film. We have two parts in this film. The first is Power, about a politician, female politician who reads out the text from the screen, the text that has been previously prepared. And then there is another as well, the media with the guarantees of safety. And then there is the second part about the people who are trusting the politicians, who are watching the politicians with their screens from the TV and telephones, and they're ready to pray them, provide them the money, and actually work with them. So, you know, for this politician and artist, Polina Raiko, we have been living with her for the same house. She'd never left her house for a longest period of time. And one period of time, she has lost her daughter and her son, her husband. And in order not to go crazy, she started to paint her house, created this kind of her own paradise with the help of this phantasmagoric plots and phantasmagoric images, and that is why she tried to escape her own tragedy. So basically, I'm driving this analogy between those two women, the two women that are trying to create this maternal house and maternal protection and to create this domestic paradise. 2020 has given already us the idea that we're living in the very disciplinary society, that we're ready to provide a self-arrest. We're getting to get some certain actions, like, for example, the DIA program, the DIA app, that we have to report through this application that we are at home, we're not living anywhere. While we're registering at any kind of site, we're providing a lot of personal data, all of the anti-utopias of previous years, everything that has been created by literature and film. The world, it just told us that we'll only be made to do and forced to do only that we're ready to do. So that is why utopia has become the part of our life. Thank you very much for watching. Have a nice evening. Don't forget to wear both hats and masks.
Дякуємо Роману
So thank you very much, Roman. Thank you very much for his virtual presence, and let him thank you for his idea. He has explained a very interesting story of his film. If you would like to know more about his creativity, about what he thinks about the anti-utopias and prisons and more of that, you can search for the interview by Valeria Sochivets in the Contemporary Ukrainian Cinema page. You can as well find the interview of Valeria Sochivets. We have already have Maria Koндакова. I should already given you the opportunity to watch about that. Ms. Bонбон, if you haven't seen it yet. And Maria Koндакова is widely known because of her film Her and the War. So I think it was in 2015. It has been presented at the DocuDays Film Festival. And by the way, it has received the Golden Zyga, the Ukrainian analog of Oscar. We have Maria with us here at the video, and we can even now see her with the help of Zoom. So, Maria, hi everyone. Hi everyone. Hi everyone. It's pleasure to see everyone in the House of Cinema. So we still do not see Maria on the screen. I'm going to give you the opportunity of how you're going to communicate with her. If you have any questions for our directors, oh, we have Maria here. Maria, hi.
Привіт, Марія з Києва.
Maria, hi. Greetings from Kiev. Can you see me? Yeah, we kind of we see you, but I'm not sure we can hear you. We have there might be some kind of technical difficulties from our side. Can you hear me? We can see Maria's ear. So does it mean that you can hear? I can hear you. Hi.
Чутно, не чутно.
So can you hear me? Can't you hear me? So we can't really hear you well. Can you hear me? Russ, couldn't have heard you for all this time, but okay, we was just had the pleasure to see you. So greetings from Kiev, from the Red Hall. So where are you? Hi everyone for your patience, and thank you very much for staying here with me. Like, I'm sorry, I'm on the train right now because I have to go to Marseille for the filming. I'm just in Kiev for the Q&A with my film, Miss Bonbon. I'm really sorry. That was really nice of you. So, okay, having this opportunity to to talk to you about my film, I have really grateful for that. Can you still hear me? Yes, Maria, we can hear you nicely. So if you'll have this opportunity, just give us a couple of words about your film. We have just watched it, and maybe you will give us a little bit of with your remarks on your reflection, on your plot, on your film. How did you come up with that, and how did you do that? How did you film that? Well, I was very lucky that we made this film with my friend, with a really good operator, that Tatiana Olifirova. She came from London with the digital Bolex camera, and it was really out of nowhere, basically, just a couple of days before the lockdown in Paris. And the lockdown actually influenced the way the film has been edited, because we've invited another photographer and model, Anna Prokolevich, to play the main role, the main lead in the film. I really wanted to recreate this Paris atmosphere, the Paris during lockdown in the editing, because we actually filmed it before the lockdown itself. And the story goes that I've read one of the novels by Guy de Maupassant, The Sign, and once again, that was his two that is let us say the free adaptation of this novel, of that short story, and we really wanted to make it just as well as Godard did. So, and this was the times of lockdown, and I do believe that it really influenced the editing, because this feelings of loneliness, the voice over, it actually gives you the good feelings of what you're saying. It would be really interesting for me to learn what you feel when you have been watching the film. What do you think? Have you liked it? I know. Well, thank you very much, Maria, for your comment and for your ideas. But maybe there's someone who really wants to share your opinion with Maria as a director. Believe me, that's very valuable for all of us. So please raise your hand if there's something that you would like to say. And thank you, by the way, for organizing this kind of screening. Here in Paris, everything is closed up. The cinemas do not work starting since November last year. And so there's basically no places to kiss, to hug, to exchange the emotions after you have seen some really good films. Well, thank you very much for charging us with the really good emotions and charging us with your film. I'm still waiting for some comments from the audience. Please raise your hands if there's something that you would like to say on this film. Thank you very much for joining. I was really sad that I couldn't be there with you, but it feels like we're all together. I'm really grateful to the contemporary Ukrainian cinema for organizing this beautiful evening. Yes, Maria, we actually have a person who wanted to speak up. Please come up to our stage, because we only have the two mics here. So please come up to our stage while you're still coming up here with us. And so, Maria, can you please tell us, while we still have the person coming up to us, what was the hardest thing for you during the lockdown, during the coronavirus pandemic? Because the creative process requires the new emotions. Well, yes, and the energy exchange is very important as well. I'm currently I'm currently, I'm sorry, I just have to, just for a second. Oh, you're on screen, you're on screen in Kyiv cinema, because I'm doing the Q&A for my film, and I'm sorry. It's just a couple of words, just like a look. So yes, you're going to in the cinema house to all of the people they're still doing with the Q&A. Hi there. How are you doing?
Це, по-моєму, найцікавіший
Like, I'm sorry, just like
на всьому кіносереді за всю історію.
I'm sorry. So once again, there's just lockdown. You cannot be in like bars and restaurant, and I'm now in the restaurant carriage here. But I'm just trying to explain the situation, and I has been allowed to do this. Just a minute, just a minute of fame for everybody. And we're still okay about the lockdown. That was really harsh. Yes. So right now I'm studying in Solbong, and actually we have a lot of students. We have a lot of students because they're very depressed because you don't have this energy exchange. You don't have this, I don't know, vivid life. In Paris, it's like people are very depressed in Paris, but lockdown caused even more depression. So basically, I think we should hold on all together. It's really good that we have this opportunity to show the films, to talk to one another, to communicate, because I do believe that it was really hard for all of us. At the very beginning, that was really cool. We had some times for ourselves. We did something for all of us. I have read some books that I didn't manage to read for 10 years that I bought. I've got to the university. Like, I never had the time to do some things for myself. But then later on, it starts, preventing you from doing things. Like, in our case, at 6 o'clock, so we have the curfew, so you have to be at home at 6 o'clock, so everything is closed up. So yes, it actually stops you from doing a lot of things. It doesn't help you actually, and the people are already really tired. I don't know whether the same is for Kyiv, but here it's yes. And by the way, right now it's very good for us. We can be here in the cinema house, but we have a person from the audience, and I think they wanted to say something for you. Can you please introduce yourself and speak up, please?
Маша, привіт.
Masha, hi. Hi, my name is Andrei. I don't know whether you know me, but I have a question. First of all, I want to thank you for having the opportunity to watch another film with your participation and created by you.
А про перший фільм у мене таке запитання.
I have a question on your first film, because this is a very personal film, and I've heard about what you've been saying about this loneliness that you have even felt right now. I wanted to ask you, how have you chosen the main protagonist for the film? What were the criteria for the selection? And did you have this opportunity to play the lead on your own? Well, once I have tried to film myself, and with the film with Mikita Bukovsky, with a producer from Zambia Production, who has been doing his thesis work in Karpankukara University. And by the way, he's a very talented. But that sucked. That sucked so much. So I'm not going to do that anymore. So, but no, actually, it happened for me that the second film that I'm making with Diana already, we know we have this very spontaneous actors coming up to us. The other short film that we have already done, I've actually met a girl 3 o'clock in the morning, and 7 o'clock in the morning she was in my house, and we were already making the film. And here in this film, this lady who plays the lead, I know her for a very long time. I've just seen her, in this role. And we had other girls, Diana and Anna. They were wearing just the same things for the shooting. This nicely made trench coat and in mocha color, and the black berets. So they were just, they were the really stylish twins. So no, I'm not going to be filming myself, but I'm making, I'm playing, acting in other films, and I have my first part actually, and now another film. But this girl Anna, they're like, this is perfectly. They were just friends. You just enjoy working with them so much. Thank you. But thank you very much for your question. So did you like the film? It was okay or what? Well, I think I really like the story. Yes. Thank you. Thank you very much. But she's not an actor. She's not an actress. So basically, that was what I really liked, that she was, really she was really open, and she was really open for any kind of this. I just asked her to be herself. But I think that she a little bit given a little bit too much. Camera is a very interesting thing in this case. Like I don't know, how did you feel about it? Did you like her in the shot? Was she natural? Was she natural? Well, yes, the one who played the lead, the Miss Bonbon, we actually saw that she's impressive. She's unbelievable. And in my opinion, this film has given us this feeling of intimacy and closeness that we actually lacked during the lockdown, that we actually lacked. A lot of us missed this feeling because a lot of people were forced to live alone. So thank you very much for this film again, and thank you very much for having this opportunity to talk to us. And by the way, it was a really pleasure for me to go on a train with you virtually. So thank you very much for that. So we're gonna let you go right now for you not to get off the train because of us. So thank you very much for joining us. Yes, they're gonna take me off the train. Thank you very much for inviting me. Thank you very much for your patience. Thank you very much for listening to me. I would really, really, really love to be there with you right now in the audience to watch the other films, to talk to the audience. But I'm definitely going to watch all the films this evening. Enjoy the screening. I'll send you all the kisses, all the best wishes, and just, write me a letter, write me a line. Let's keep on updated. Or just contact me through the Contemporary Ukrainian Cinema. Thank you very much. That was Maria Kondakova with us. Like we can give her a round of applause just to get our hands warm as well. Great. So we are getting to our third director that we're going to have been watching today, Zoya Lактіонова. I know that she has already joined us here in the audience, and maybe she's going to join us here at the stage. And I'm going to tell you about Zoya. So basically, when she's mentioned, she's always been said that she got to the film world from a very different point of view. She has become a hero, a main protagonist of the documentary film Ma by Maria Stoyanova. She has been the cinematographer in the Ukrainian film, and that was her second short film. And I do believe she's going to tell us more about it right now. So, hi, Zoya. Hi. Now it's not going to be very funny because, my film is about death. I don't know if you have felt it or no, but yes, that's what happened. Those were my reflections on death because during the lockdown, my mother has died, and it was the moment that was still very hard for me, even though a year has passed. But still, it was the first time when we've got back to Mariupol because I was born there, and that was a very hard moment for me because I didn't have my mother there, and that my sister in the shot, I was filming her, and it was actually my reflection on death, not really funny and really sad. And I'm really grateful to all of the audience, first of all, for your support. And I'm really grateful to Zoya for the film because, it's not usually about, fun films. We just have to feel one another and create this connection through the films. That was a film that I really have felt connected with because, this image of the lighthouse is very specific even in my life. So can you please tell us why did you put the lighthouse in this center of your story? What just happened? I haven't planned to make a film about the lighthouse. And, the film wasn't planned because it's just that we went for a walk with my sister and she has a daughter. And her daughter she fell asleep. So she's not even 2 years old yet. But, she just fell asleep and we had around like 2 hours just to have a walk. And my sister never seen this lighthouse and I've seen it and I just wanted to show it to her. So I took my photo camera with me just to make a photo and not just to make the videos. But when we started walking, I have understood that first of all, that's a very powerful symbol. And on the other hand, we see a lot of moments about death. And we were, just walking and thinking on death at this moment. So everything that you have seen in the shots, everything you have seen in the film wasn't planned. So it took us throughout these 2 hours of walk and throughout these 2 hours, we have understood that you should not try to live faster. You have to consider everything that's going on around you. And the lighthouse itself was an important landmark. So when we got to that, there was a kind of a symbol of, trespassing, passing to the next stage of life. And, I do believe there's nothing after death, but if we can say that this is kind of the rite of passage symbol. Yes, thank you. Thank you very much for the answer. But I would like to remind our audience, if you have any comments, emotions, or thoughts about the film that you would like to voice out, so please, you're welcome to do that. I know that Zoya will also enjoy it. It will be interesting for her to hear that as well. So please do not be shy. Raise your hands if you have some questions or emotions you would like to share. Okay, we have no people ready to speak up yet, but still, I have a question. Because yes, in the film, you can feel it that the film has been made by the person who is going through a lot of emotions at this moment. There is this feelings that you are choosing the frames, and there's a lot of pain behind that. And it's really hard not to think about this film as the kind of the personal therapy and personal healing. Can you please tell us how have you reflected on those thoughts when you have been rewatching this film, the films, the show that you made during editing? When on the editing process, well, the thing that I felt, I didn't have any kind of idea while I was editing. I just, following my inner feeling and kind of the therapy. Last year I made 2 films on death. The second film is going to be presented at DocuDays. You'll be able to see it there. And after the second film, it really was easier for me. So yes, that is a cool way of therapy. The territory of empty windows, DocuDays UI, the Ukrainian short competition. Yes, by the way. The DocuDays UA is coming soon. So I think that we have to, all of us, we will just have to go and watch these films or to watch Zoya's film online, because I do believe that is going to be the one to watch to and to want to watch up for. And you have had the chance to make sure that you would like to watch the next Zoya's film. I don't think that we have any questions from the audience. If you have the question, please come up to us, join us in the stage. Well, you can just stand up and ask the question quite loudly, but try to get us to the stage, because we actually have to keep in mind we have people in the internet watching us as well, and they want to hear all of you. It does. So everyone is agree? Like, I agree. I just want to shake your hand. Yes. And I wanted to add up to that what has been said, that in this period when the half of our part of our faces is always covered by masks, it is really harder for all of us to communicate with one another. And this sincerity and openness on this very harsh situation in life, it took a lot of courage. And I just wanted to thank you with that, because right now, this kind of films that you've made is a real treasure, and the sincerity that you have shown us is really important. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much for this comment, and thank you very much once again, Zoya. Thank you for your incredible film. By the way, I have watched it a couple of times when I was getting prepared for this screening, and I do hope that you're going to join all of us and you're going to watch Zoya Lактіонова's film, The Territory of the Open Windows, that is going to be happening in the end of March. But before that, let's have a round of applause for Zoya. And let's welcome our next director here on the stage. We're going to welcome Роман Любий, and I hope that the main actress of his film is going to join him here at the stage. So please welcome Роман and Орися Любий here at the stage of the House of Cinema. So you might know Роман by his work in Babylon 13, by his film The Winter That Changed Us, that has been, by the way, nominated for Oscar. Maybe has someone forgotten about that. But his another film, Worn Out, that has been presented at DocuDays UA last year, I do believe that it actually drove everyone crazy, basically. So yes, please welcome Roman and Doresa. Good evening. Good evening. I would like to, well, first of all, I would really like to say that I'm really happy that we all are here today, and I would like to pass the floor to the co-author of my film. So please welcome Orisa Luba. Give a round of applause. Give a round of applause to Orisa. Have you liked it? Have you liked our film? Okay, dear audience, have you liked Orisa on the screen? It's just the beginning. It's just the beginning of our creative tandem. It's our creative duo. I think that was the first film was not a really short film. It was only 15-second long. Then we've had the idea to make it a short film. Then we had a part of it, and then it grown into the short film that you have seen on the screen today. Yes, yes, and let's hope that we will soon provide the new films for you to watch. We have a lot to give, right? I have a question to the lead actor in your film. Orisa, can you please tell us who would you like to become in future? Would you like to be an actor or director? Closer to the mic, please. I'd like to be an actress. An actress. I think that you have the talent for that, and the great future lies in front of you. Yes, if you have any questions, then please, we're really glad to hear all of your ideas. So that's yes, but Roman, I would like to actually ask you. We have these two films on the topic how hard it is, or how interesting it is when you have kids during lockdown. And in the logline for your film, you have said that the kids all over the world, they have gone through the very interesting experience of constantly being with their parents. And this is this perspective I have never thought about, because it is as well weird for the children. What was really weird for Orisa in your opinion, and what was weird for you with your wife? Well, I just for a second, I will just get this mic up. Well, I believe that I believe that it's a very interesting thing. It's not that frequently in the history of the world there's something that unites the whole planet. The single experience unites all of the planet. You can think of all of this. You can think of all of these rings in the trees, in the chopped down trees. You can now see that there has been one bright circle, one bright experience for all over the world. And this is the image that comes to my mind. But the kids, they're very open to new experiences. They're very open to everything that goes on with them, because they're not aware what kind of laws work in this world. The quarantine, okay, that means that it has to be like that. It's okay. Right, I am. Yes, because that's what I think about it, I guess. So I don't know if there was anything extraordinary for the kids, but I have seen how Orisa was trying to fight coronavirus with magic. Well, yes. Do you practice magic, Orisa? No. Yes. Yeah. So every day we are actually winning over coronavirus. Okay, do we have any questions from the audience? A very nice film. Really have no questions or emotions to share. Okay, we don't have questions yet, but if you have already speaking about your future collaboration, artistic collaboration with your daughter, I do believe that would have been a very cool opportunity, because there is no other circumstances that actually the director who works with those really harsh topics would make a film with his daughter. Well, yes, that's right. You are right. You are basically, because it was a chance. What's going to be your next film with Orisa? What are you going to do that about? Well, I have thought about a very interesting idea. And by the way, there are some. We have thought about that. Then we was making, we will just had a bank of ideas. But
різноманітні сюжети, де Орися із
we have had many different plots when Orissa from the future is going to visit the current Orissa, and she's going to give her some advice or will thank her for something. We haven't practiced it yet, but I think that it might be very useful and very interesting idea. That will be, I don't know, a very interesting material, I guess. Okay, I think it's maybe not only interesting for Orissa, but for those people who never thinks to themselves as well. So thank you for the very good idea. And we're going to be hoping to see Orissa in the big screen with the Роман Любий film. So your applause, ladies and gentlemen. And we have the final, yet another author who's here with us and who's joining us here on the stage, Сила, who has given us yet another very nice film, Sunshine, that we have been watching in the end. And you might know Христина as a director of the film The Devoted, that has been seen in the big screens in the massive theater broadcast. And right now, Христина has got from this big form to this epic forms to the short films. So can you please tell us, how did you got up with this wonderful film? So hi everyone, I didn't take my actress with me because maybe she's watching me right now online and she's being very sad. So that is why I wanted to say hello, Alisa. Yes, hi Alisa, we're all sending you best of the greetings. It was a very weird actually to watch the telephone screen on the big screen of the cinema house. That was really terrible. You know, the sound was really terrible. It was really disturbing. It was made for an iPhone, to be watched on the iPhone, and it really was really bad on the screen. But you know, this is the format of it, so let's just put it away that was the style of it. That is how we actually came up with that. We really wanted to kill some time when we were at home, and we started to think of different things together. We started doing the stop motion animation with Alyssa, and we started to make short cartoons from different toys. You know, just we were trying to make some kind of video courses for ourselves. And the idea itself, you know, it was just it was just in the mind, because when Lera has given me an idea that you should make something about the quarantine, and I said like, okay, I should make something about the quarantine. And the only thing I could have been thinking about, what was really bothering me the most, was I have read a lot that people, they're really lonely, you know, the people who have been left alone in the closed up space. And I had a very different problem for myself, you know, when I was really lacking of personal space, and that was actually the film. That was mostly what film was about. Yes, thank you. That was a very contrasting and opposite perspective to Роман Любий's film, for example. And I wanted to as well appraise your main actress, because there's not so many people can play with their voice, but playing with their voice is a separate, unbelievable skill. So Alisa, if you're listening to us right now and watching us, so the finest greetings to you. That was very good. Thank you. And yes, I wanted to ask you about the documentary aspect of your film. Because what documentary moments you're using in the film? No, I think I was just very loud and people will hear me. Okay, whether it was documentary, that's what you meant? Yes. Wow, there was something in between the genres. There was something in between because there has been a lot of things that has been inspired by real life. Like, for example, like, Mom, can I take a look at the weather? So yes, that was some kind of a quarantine habit, just to check the weather once an hour. So, you know, constantly Alisa was checking out the weather. She has found this weather forecast, and there are different functions in the weather forecast. It says like how the weather feels, what the temperature is really, and it's a separate world actually. And we have been tracking the weather for different cities for many months in a row. And yes, so everything has been inspired by life events, but of course it has been then crystallized in the text form. My husband has written this text, so this joke on the sperm is actually just the joke that has been created and has been but still it was inspired by real life, because we have been reading the sex education books at the quarantine, and we have discussed how this joke would be possible, because we had some jokes like that in the process of our conversation. So there is something in the middle between fictions and documentary. Okay, dear audience, if you have the questions, so today we're really hospitable and we would like to really invite you to join us here at the stage to share your emotions, thoughts, and questions. I have been talking for such a long time that I didn't manage to ask my question, but we have a person who would like to speak up. First of all, I would really like to thank you for this beautiful film. Well, I'm completely sure that, all of us, we currently have this connect that we are feeling all the same, that, that films in quarantine is very good. But in this kind of format that you have created, that's, bullseye. I just wanted to share my opinion about that because, I really enjoy that, because I really had a different time in quarantine. I was really bored. I was sitting in my room alone, watching films, reading books, and that's it, nothing more. But it really inspired me to think about how you could have spent your time in quarantine. So yes, thank you very much once again, even for that, for being an inspiration. Thank you very much for your actress, and you have been working really nicely, and we all are very cool. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much for this feedback. Yes, and by the way, yes, I think that what could be a separate Q&A if we were able to talk to the authors with the previous films, because I was sitting here and thinking, like, I don't want my film to be after this one, but you decided to show them one after another because those films are just very alike. But I think that's a very good thing that they are really connected, but on the other hand they're really contrasting to one another, opposing to one another, because they have really different treatments for the situation that the children has got and the adults has got into. And this moment was really nicely emphasized. So, and once again, speaking about the format itself, Roman has a mixture of many different visual things. But for you, you have this clean iPhone style. And this is something that really works out nicely on the contrasting of what was going on in the plot and in the story. And I think that Roman would also speak up about that. Oh, no. I'm not just saying that the films are similar, but, the topic is quite the same. Yes. Yes, thank you very much. But, this is a personal opinion of mine because, I really felt familiar with that, with these messages with the kindergarten. Yes, that's something that I felt as well when all of those, when all of those cards are being sent. So this was really good for me. I was really something that I am familiar with. Well, actually, we're also expecting that we will have the tooth fairy as well. So we were going to have the same stories like you've had in the film. Oh, I wish you would go really easier with that without going to the dentist. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes, by the way, when I was watching your film, I kind of felt it. I felt everything what was going on with you because we had the same photo with the photo camera. We have found some really nice shots of our child that is really what will be good for the separate film. So there was something that really touched us, and I was really surprised that we are in the same screening. And I'm really grateful to organizers for that. Yes, Film Wednesday unites the filmmakers. And by the way, if we have any comments from the audience, I think that we'll still have time for a couple of questions. Maybe not for Christina, but maybe for some other directors who are with us today right now. So we have Роман Любий, we have Зоя Лактіонова, and do you have any questions or threats, comments, or whatever you would like to say? Okay, no questions from the audience, so I think we'll have a round of applause for Christina. Civil up. We would like to, as well, express our gratitude to all of us for having this really nice team of people today joining us here. Thank you. On behalf of the contemporary Ukrainian cinema, I'm really grateful for you to be joining us today. You have been a perfect audience. The people here in the hall, in the Red Hall, and people who have been with us online, thank you very much. And I would like to remind you, we'll have the next Film Wednesday on Wednesday, slightly different. Please take a look at the Instagram, Facebook, YouTube pages of the contemporary Ukrainian cinema. Sign up and join us, follow our updates, and we'll see you at the House of Cinema slightly later next month. Follow the news. Thank you very much for joining us here today. Thank you for staying with us. Have the great evening.
Ну, все. Добре, гарного вам вечора, вас добре.